how do you encourage Magic the Gathering players to play D&D, and how do you get D&D players interested in a Magic the Gathering setting? It's a challenge.
It is. I think because they are different games. Magic the Gathering is head to head, very strategy. There's a barrier to understanding how Magic works, but I think there's kind of be like this beautiful cross pollination because I think that the D&D player who is cooperative, story driven, um, is going to be interested in Magic the Gathering and will bring something to that. And Magic the Gathering being very, like strategy driven and player versus player is going to bring something to a D&D table. And I think I think they make both games better is kind of like the bottom line of it. I feel like that if I'm playing the Mythic Odysseys of Theros in a D&D game and I'm like, this is such a cool setting, what is this Magic the Gathering thing, and then I go to play it, um, the more D&D players that get into playing Magic, I think it just makes the Magic community better. I think D&D brings that kind of story sensibility to it. They bring the cooperative nature, that sense of like I'm playing. Like when I played Magic the Gathering as a kid, I was I would make my Goblin deck, and it was a terrible Goblin deck. It had no strategy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We didn't have enough goblins.
Yeah, it was fun, and I made up stories about it, and my friends would beat me, mercilessly, but I had a blast because my little goblin was doing, and it took the edge off of their competitiveness. They're really hard, like I'm gonna win. It took the edge off of them, and it also gave them an insight into like, wow, I can really have fun with the story of Magic, rather than just coming in and just beating you. Um, and as a D&D player, as a story guy, I got to see from my Magic friends, wow, they're really using the strategy of the card. They're really reading that card and they're using the mechanics and the numbers to create these combinations. And I was like, oh my gosh, like when I learned about combos, it was like, boom, whole world opening. So it made me a more critical strategy player and more thinking about like the brilliance of Magic as a game. And when I got how brilliant of a game Magic was, I was just like, oh my, this thing is amazing, and it's a different animal. So I think there is that kind of mutual appreciation that can happen. It can create a more strategically thinking D&D player, and it can create a more fun, story-driven, collaborative Magic player. So that's my big theory about this. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a long time because I've been on both sides of the walls. So yeah, it's been fun.
How would you, as a dungeon master who wants to run in this universe, convert Magic the Gathering players to D&D and convert D&D players to Magic the Gathering? It's a tough. I know it's a horribly tough question.
It is a horribly tough question and not so hard a question, really, because like both of them are fun games and it's not hard to get people excited about either one if you sit down to play with them. And really, the philosophical approach that we've taken with both the Ravnica book and this one is not to try to, is basically to treat them as D&D books, not as crossover products. There's no knowledge of Magic game mechanics or the philosophy behind them, of the color pie. You don't need any of that to approach this book as a D&D setting and play in this world as a D&D player. So you don't need to understand Magic. You don't need to play Magic if you want to play in Theros and get the full enjoyment from this book. I guess probably that my corporate overlords, and to an extent, I hope that reading this book gets you curious and gets you excited and makes you want to go and look at these cards and learn more about the other cool game, and vice versa if you're a fan of the card set. I mean, there's a ton of world information in this book that you can't get anywhere else. So for that alone, Magic lore goobs should get a kick out of this book. And hopefully, if they're not already D&D fans, then there will be some amount of, oh wow, you mean I can be this character that I see on the card?
Yeah, I think there's stuff here that if you're like, I'm not interested in playing in the Magic the Gathering world, you can take all of this stuff and do your own top-down Greek-inspired world. It's made for that. I mean, and so, or if you want to play true to, like, I want to make sure that I have all the poles, which is plural of polis, and I want to have all of those represented properly in Theros. You get a map of Theros, and Magic the Gathering up to this point has not. We have not seen what Theros looks like on a map, and so this is something that Magic players will get to enjoy. And so, if you want to, properly represent that in your game, you get to do all of those things. Or there's also, or you can just take it and, you know what, I want to make my own, build a chimera. You get to do that in this book, because that's something that exists in our bestiary.
Purchase your copy of Mythic Odysseys of Theros today on D&D Beyond. Link in the description.